Hello everybody, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm excited to be doing a Q&A video with you guys. Now I can't remember if I've done one of these before. I might have, but I definitely haven't done one in a long time, and if I have done one before, then I think there's a lot that's changed and I'm excited to be doing it with you guys. So if you are new, a lot of people would be like, why are you listening to a Q&A if you're new? But I get it because, fun fact about me, sometimes I love just listening to random creators' Q&As and I kind of watch them and I'm like, is this someone that I find interesting and someone I want to watch? So if you're new, welcome. My name's Alanna. We love talking about beautiful things, beautiful makeup, luxury makeup, dupes, a little bit of drugstore, beautiful handbags. Oh, we're not in a global pandemic. I love talking about travel. So that is what we talk about here at Classy on the Run. And if you're returning, welcome back. I've done my best to include everybody's questions. Just so you guys know, I have grouped them by theme. There's a couple of questions that came up kind of repeated or very, very similar. So yeah, let's get started. So I thought we would kick it off with all the questions relating to YouTube. So Tina and Tanya both asked, basically, how did I become interested in starting a YouTube channel? So for those of you guys who don't know, I started blogging a long time ago. I want to say I started my blog in like 2011, something like that, first year university. I started my blog in approximately 2011 and I really enjoyed blogging. I was very nervous that people would like find out about my secret beauty blog and then judge me in my professional context. So I didn't put my face on any of my early posts. The photos were terrible, FYI. But I already had a good camera, but I didn't have a camera the one that I have right now, which is a little bit better. We'll get into that, which does better video. And anyway, so I started my blog and I really enjoyed it. Eventually, when I sort of like told some friends my secret about having a blog, they were really, really supportive, and so I eventually started including my face in some of my blog posts. And then it got to a point where it felt like I was working so hard writing these blog posts. The SEO, the editing, the photos, the idea, just everything. And it's like I would look at my stats and it would tell me that 1,000 people viewed this post this month. Do you know how many comments I had from that weren't like comments from, you know, sort of blogger groups or, you know, blogger friends? Do you know how many comments I had that weren't from people I know? 0. And I worked so hard on it and it was just so frustrating, but I kept doing it because I didn't feel like I had what I needed to start a YouTube channel. About 3 or 4 years ago, I made my first video and I have not been the most consistent YouTuber, I will admit. But I did that for a few months, maybe a year, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it was so fun because it felt like the people watching my content, it felt like they were real people in the sense that they would leave comments and they'd say like, I like your hair today, or I like that lipstick too, or I don't like that lipstick. And it was just so fun. And so for me, I love hanging out in the comments with you guys. I love replying to comments. I do my best to reply to everyone. And it felt so much more rewarding. Like, I don't need to be famous. I don't need a shit ton of money. A little bit more money would be nice in the context of my blog, just so I can, you know, upgrade some of my equipment and things like that. But I don't really need money. I don't need a huge audience, but I want to know that the people who watch my content actually like it, or it makes them think of something, or that they actually just were there. And so I love getting to know you guys in the comments, and yeah. Anyway, so basically that's a really long answer to I started having a YouTube channel because I was blogging and I wanted to experience that more engagement, and I definitely enjoy it. I do YouTube a lot more than blogging now, and I'm really excited to be back and producing content, and yeah, it feels great. Okay, Grace wants to know the best and the worst thing about YouTube. So absolutely the best thing about YouTube is just how interactive the community is. It's like when you guys leave comments, it makes my day, especially if I know that you guys have found some of my content helpful. That is just amazing to me. So yeah, the best thing honestly is you guys and just getting to interact with you guys and getting to interact with other creators. Like, I've made friends through it and I love the community. The worst thing about YouTube, Sometimes for me it feels like how long it takes for a video to upload, but I'll say two things. One is when you work really hard on a video and then it just flops. And that can sometimes be disheartening in terms of the views. And I'd also just say that, you know, sometimes people leave negative comments and sometimes they're kind of mean and sometimes it sucks, but whenever I get a negative comment that sort of gets under my skin, I will call up some of my best YouTube kind of friends and we'll rant about it. And you know what? The only people who leave negative comments on my content, I think they're just unhappy, and I think they have other things going on in their life, and I think that if they need to try to make me feel bad by leaving a mean or unkind comment on my channel, you know what? I don't need to deal with that. So I think it's a them problem, not a me problem. You know, you are always welcome to disagree with my recommendations and tell me how things work for you. I'm just sharing how things work for me. But there's no need to be mean. You know, it really sucks when people complain about my video quality, not about the content of what I'm saying. Disagree with the content of what I'm saying all you want. Like, I welcome that. But when you disagree, when you leave a comment about my, like, video quality, it's like, guys, I have a full-time job. I go to that job. I work hard. And I use some of that money to buy my camera and my tripod and my lights, and it costs a lot of money. And I have a wish list like this long of things I want to improve it, and part of it honestly is buying a house. I don't love the film setup I necessarily have. I think it's good. It's better than it was, but I would like to be able to have the camera further away from me and have a better lens, which I think would solve a lot of the issues I see in my own content. And anyways, guys, just know that if there's ever like an issue in the editing or the filming, I'm my own biggest critic. I noticed it, and sometimes I just don't care. And the reason I say I just don't care is because some content is better than no content, and this is my hobby, and it is free for you to watch. And if you don't like it, you can just leave. But I love the positive and supportive community that I've been able to build here so far, and I love all of you guys. And like, if you're here to have fun, I'm here to have fun. I go to work Monday to Friday. I have a job 9 to 5. This is my hobby and I love it. And yeah, my filming quality is not as good as Lester Lux or Rachel Loves or Kristen Dominique because they have a team. And for me, I come up with the video idea, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I pick my outfit, I set up my lighting, I set up my camera, I set up the sound, I film the video, I edit the video, I post the video, and sometimes mistakes happen. Sorry. But actually I'm not sorry. So yeah, that's the best and the worst thing about YouTube. Grace is also asking what camera do I use. I've had this camera for so long, I'm just gonna like look at it. I know it's a Canon. Oh, I have the Canon EOS Rebel 6Ti. And when I picked this camera a few years ago, it was the best one that I could afford, and what was really an important quality, and for any aspiring YouTubers or new YouTubers, I can't recommend enough having a camera that you can flip the screen, like the viewfinder, towards you. It is really helpful to me. It's a total game changer. And when I used to film on a camera that didn't have that, it was really hard to be centered and to like proportion yourself. So yeah, that's the one I use. I'd love to get the 80D, but I can't really justify a new camera right now because the one I have works great, but one day that's the one I'd like to get. Grace, so by the way guys, this is all the same Grace I think, but I have like 3 Graces who are active commenters. Okay, Grace wants to know, have I ever met anybody on YouTube in real life? So the answer to that is yes. First of all, the funniest one, so my friend Emily, who is a YouTuber, we met through Ipsy.os. Emily is a sweetheart, she does a lot of fashion content. Emily and I were walking down the street in downtown Toronto. I think we had lunch, we were on Bloor Street in Yorkville, and she says to me, she's like, is that a fleur de force? And I was like, I don't really watch her, so I don't know. And she's like, I think it is. And I'm like, I don't know, but that'd be cool. And she's like, I think she's doing a collab with Mac. And so we actually stopped her on the street and we're like, hi, are you Fleur de Force? And she was such a sweetheart. She was like, yes, like I can't believe people recognize me. She had the cutest accent. I still really like watching her because it's just kind of fun. but she is a total sweetheart, and we got a picture with her. I'll put it over here. And that was really fun. She was working on her MAC lipstick collab, so I remember buying the lipstick. Or maybe it was sent in PR, but I got the lipstick because of that moment. Desi Perkins. I met Desi at a Ipsy OS event. I think she's an Ipsy creator at the time. And I got a picture with her, and now she's having a baby, which is amazing. I've met Madison Miller. I love her. She's so fun. And I've met a lot of other, I think I've met, like, just through Ipsy OS at Generation Beauty, a lot of other kind of mid-sized creators, which is really cool. But those are the ones that really stand out to me. And the flip side of that is I've actually met a subscriber in real life. I was at my everyday job, and this woman, I was at the bar getting a drink, and she was like, "Are you Classy on the Run?" And I was like, "Yes." She's like, "You taught me how to do eyeliner." I basically died that minute because it was so cool being recognized. I wasn't even all done up. It was so cool. Still love her. Hi, Judy. You're my favorite. That was a really cool moment. So kind of like on the flip side. Okay, Grace wants to know advice for new YouTuber. So I think I could honestly make that into a whole other video, and I don't want that to dominate our discussion today, but I will say my advice for a new YouTuber is to just start. Your equipment's not going to be the best. Use a window. You're not going to have the lighting, and you shouldn't waste a whole bunch of money on equipment on trying something that you might A, not be good at, and B, not actually enjoy. So just try it and do your best, and just know that like the views are going to suck early on. Getting the first 100 subscribers is really hard. Ran out of space on my card, so I had to put a new card in. If you enjoy it, just do it, just try. Don't worry about people judging you. People are gonna judge all the time. Just have fun, do your best, and you know what? Your first video is not gonna be great, but you're gonna pick up something and you're gonna edit the next one a little better. And then the next one you're gonna set up your lighting a little better. And like you grow and you learn and you try, and it's a really cool skill to have. So yeah, and honestly, don't worry about like going viral. You know what? This is an awesome hobby, and if it goes viral, awesome. And if it doesn't, oh well. Okay. Tamara and Tanya again, tips for starting a channel. Just start. You know, I would try to not pick a name for your channel that's too niche unless you're really committed to that niche. I would also say think about what your niche is going to be. Think about what you offer, like YouTube, that's not already there. I mean, part of that is just you, right? And then also I would say when you're creating at least your early content, make searchable content. So like this video, I know, I mean, I'm gonna try to make it SEO and whatever, but people aren't really searching to get to know me. But my audience that I already have might, you know, generally want to watch this video. I mean, you guys asked me these questions, so I assume you want the answers. So this one, I'm not expecting a whole bunch of views, right? But when I'm doing, you know, for example, my declutter video, like I work to make that one really searchable, and that one's doing really well. So you want to think about how are you making your content searchable. Tamara's asking for tips for balancing work and YouTube. So I can't speak for you and your priorities, but this is the way I look at it. Real life comes first. My job from Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 pays my bills. And because that pays my bills, I can have this fun hobby. Two, and a part of that is like my family, my marriage, all of those come before YouTube. I love YouTube. I love interacting with you guys. The reason I had to take a break last year was because my professional life was insane. I was working crazy hours. I was exhausted. And when I tried to film, I just didn't feel like I was bringing a good energy to the camera because I was exhausted. And so I didn't produce content. And I'm sure if I'd spent the last year producing content, I'm positive that I'd have way more subscribers and viewers and whatever than I have right now. But you know what? I don't really care because I'm working on it now and that's growing. And I was really busy last year and it was exhausting. And, you know, so you got to put real life first. And I would say don't start YouTube thinking that you're going to get to quit your job and be a full-time YouTuber. There are a lot of people who've gotten to do that and I'm so happy for them. But that's not a plan. That's something you can hope for and work towards. And if you can make that happen for you, like, amazing. Like, I would be so impressed. But, you know, you just, to me, real work has to come first. Because that's what's going to pay your bills today and for the next 40 years. So I know that's not the most inspirational answer, but I really want to be real and honest with you guys. I'd also just say, like, know when you've done enough work and that you can enjoy your weekends. And, you know, the other tip I'd have is for those of us who do work outside of YouTube, be very mindful of the content you're producing and just remember that your boss can watch any of your videos. So if you're having a bad day at work, I would recommend not doing a story time, my boss is an evil monster. Unless your boss is actually an evil monster and you've quit your job, like, you do you. But, you know, if you're having a bad day at work, like, just remember that your boss or your colleagues could be watching your channel because, like, it's public, right? So that's kind of a bunch of information there. Sanya is asking for a favorite YouTuber. So I'm going to make 2 boxes. I have, like, my favorite YouTuber friends. Like, I think Sally Choi is really fun. Lauren from Little Blushing Birdie. My friend Madeline, who you've seen on my channel. I think they are, like, super fun in the sense that they're my friends and I love their content. You know, Jasmine, like, I'll leave all links down below. In terms of this other box, which is, like, people who I'm not, like, personally friends with, and to be clear, I think those friends all produce great content, also Emily. Sorry if I missed anyone. Over here in the, like, other box, let's say, right now I really enjoy watching a lot of family content. I love the Make Husbands. I think they're a lot of fun. I really like This Gathered Nest. It's been really cool to learn about adoption and that whole process. Just as, like, it's just interesting to me. I like parenting and kind of family-based content because I think my husband and I are hoping to start a family in the next couple of years. So I really like being a couple years behind whatever content I'm watching because it helps me sort of mentally prepare. I don't know if that makes sense. Who else do I like watching? There's a Montessori channel I find very interesting. In terms of beauty, I think Kelly Gooch has very sweet content. I really like her videos. Who's my favorite? I don't know, guys. I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, I like Samantha March's videos. I like Madison Miller's videos. I like Raw Beauty Christie and Jen Love's reviews. Generally speaking, I like people who don't get, like, too hyped in the video, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I'm a very calm person, so I like listening to calming things. I like variety. I also just like discovering new content. I think that's really fun. Okay. April wants to know my plan or goal as a YouTuber in 2020. So my goal is I'd be over the moon to hit 10,000 subscribers. That's, like, my number goal. But in terms of my plan, during quarantine, I'm going to keep on doing my best to post every other day. I have a lot of content planned, so we're good on that front. And my goal is, or my plan, after quarantine's over, I want to continue to be producing content at least twice a week, but I'd like to continue at the pace I'm at now of every other day. And I also want to add, I just want to continue to build an audience of more and more friends on YouTube who leave really thoughtful comments and who I can interact with. Okay. So the next section we're going to talk about, we got a couple of questions about marriage. So Muskin wants to know, is YouTube difficult after being married? And I would say no, because as I already mentioned, my real life comes first. But at the same time, her second question is, does my husband support you? And those two things go hand in hand. I would not have married my husband if he didn't support me in everything I do. And he supports me, my channel and me and this. And it's because we both view it the same way. We view it as my super fun hobby. He definitely really liked me having a YouTube channel when we got some comped things for our honeymoon. So he thought that was pretty great. But you know what? Like, he has his hobbies. And I don't participate in all of his hobbies because they don't really interest me, but I am happy for him that he likes them, and for his birthday I'll buy him things that support his hobby. And in the same sense, he supports me in having my hobby. You know, I don't know if it's difficult after being married. I mean, you know, he's an adult who can make his own food too. After we film this video, I'm making us burgers for dinner, but he made us amazing shashuka for breakfast today. And you know what? It's my hobby, and I would never spend all of my evenings, all of my days staring at my phone, filming content for you guys. As much as I love you guys, I love my husband more, and you know, it's about making sure that we have quality time together. And the one great thing about quarantine is we have literally nothing but quality time together. Okay, now Jo, who has been a supporter of my channel for a very long time, she's asking my favorite memory with my husband before the wedding. So for those of you guys who don't know, my husband and I were together for 6 years before we got married. We've been together for 7 years now. So I'm gonna also not include our engagement. I'm gonna look at it as when he was my boyfriend. And I kind of want to say our trip to Europe, you know what, we've done 2 trips here. Our first trip to Europe. Our first trip to Europe, we've been together for just under a year. We went to Ireland, we went to Paris, and like, guys, going to Paris with your boyfriend when you're in university is like the most romantic, coolest thing ever. We went to Paris, we went to Versailles, we went all over Ireland, and it was just so fun. Like, we had so many shitty things happen. He lost his phone, so like all of his phone contacts ended up on my phone. We missed a flight, and just like, I don't know, I feel like we got through that, and I don't want to say like, oh, we got through that, we can get through anything. But it's like, we went through a lot of stressful situations on the trip, but we also had so much fun together. And I like look back at those photos and I'm like, we were small children. And then I feel old. Okay, so our next set of questions are sort of beauty related. So Mahem is asking, basically, how do I stay young and gorgeous, and how am I spending quarantine? So in terms of staying young, I mean, I'm the age I am. I will get older in time. I would say, I think what she means by this sort of young looking. So 1, it sounds so lame, stay hydrated. 2, look after your skin. I really value listening to my skin. So what I mean by that is, if your skin feels dry, drink more water and put more moisturizer on. Put a night oil on. If your skin feels clogged, you know, do a clay mask or something. For me, the biggest thing I listen to my skin is every time I would put on a matte liquid lipstick, my lips were parched, like they hurt. And so I don't wear matte liquid lipsticks anymore. I'll wear a matte bullet lipstick if it's like a Demi matte, but I don't do matte lipsticks anymore because they hurt my face. And I don't want to wear makeup that hurts my face. But I'd say just really take care of your skin, have a skincare routine, take your makeup off every night before you go to bed. That's non-negotiable. And then I would just say, when it comes to beauty, like for me, I mean, my lips are not really this color, but generally speaking, when I do my makeup, I think about how can I polish up the features I have rather than creating something that's not there. I hope that answers your question. If there are any follow-up questions to that, I will be happy to try to answer them. I'll also add, I've never smoked. I don't really drink. Like, I love wine, but I might have a glass of wine twice a month. So just, you know, lifestyle habits like that I think are helpful too. How am I spending quarantine? Filming videos for YouTube. Hi. Hanging out with my husband. We're cooking more. We order in food sometimes. We go for walks. We try to go for a walk every other day in our neighborhood just to be outside and be active and do something that's not sitting on the couch and either me talking to myself, hoping that you guys are listening, or, you know, staring blankly watching other people do the same thing. Okay, Jessie wants to know the secrets to being naturally beautiful. So I'd say the first secret is to just be confident, because if you are confident in yourself, you will radiate that to others. And look, there are things that I could choose to not be confident about. So for example, right here, I have a little like pock thing on my face, and that's because when I was a kid I had chicken pox. And I could sit here and be like, oh my gosh guys, like I hope you don't see it. But guess what? It's on my face and you probably didn't notice it. I don't really notice it or think about it. I fell up the stairs when I was a kid and I kind of whacked my face open. I have a stitch here from when I walked into a table as a kid. Like, you know what? Everyone has something and I just don't care. I feel beautiful. I'm confident. So 1, I'd say confidence is key. And 2, I would say, as I'm wearing a lot of makeup today, less is more when it comes to makeup, and just focus on polishing up the beautiful features you already have. You know, I like plastic surgery, filler, none of that really excites me. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future. But just embrace how you look and then think about how can you make yourself look a little bit better but still like you. It's like on my wedding day, the makeup I wanted and the makeup I got was the best version of myself. I hope that helps, and I'm happy to talk about this more in other videos if you guys have any other questions on that. But I really do believe that everybody watching this today is beautiful and is beautiful in their own way, and we can't be judging like in comparison to each other because we all look different, and that is okay and that is awesome. And you know what, like, there's so many beautiful features on all of you, and I just hope that you guys all see that. Oh, and my lifestyle. Typically I go to work Monday to Friday 9 to 5. When I'm not in a pandemic, I like going to the gym. I also like eating. I like eating out. I like restaurant meals. I do my best to be as active as I can, but I really don't let myself stress about it. And I just focus on enjoying time with my friends and family, and I love shopping and I miss shopping so much. Online shopping is just not the same. And yeah, that's kind of my lifestyle. Vidi wants to know my on-the-go skincare routine. I am going to do a morning and a night routine, but to keep it really simple, in the morning I like to use a toner to just take off whatever's left over on my face, and then I'll use a hydrating serum and then a hydrating moisturizer. In the evening I always remove my makeup and then I use a toner, and then I will use either a night cream or a night oil. And the secret to glowing skin is drink water, hydrate your skin, and just focus on using high quality products that are good for you, and take your makeup off before you go to bed. That is so important. Okay, Javitha wants to know my beauty secret. I believe I answered that, but my secret is to be confident, because if you're confident in yourself and you feel beautiful, then that will radiate and others will be able to pick up on that too. Denise and Tanya wanted to know, when did I start getting interested in wearing makeup? I think for all women, you know, and men who wear makeup, but I can obviously only speak to my experience. I think it starts with lip smackers or like lip balms or whatever when you're a little kid, and over time you're just interested in playing with your mom's makeup as you start to feel older. I think grade 7 or 8 was when I first started to really get to play with makeup. I would use like my mom's frosted pink eyeshadows and her Mary Kay palettes and Maybelline Great Lash Mascara. She'd only let me wear brown, not black, because black was too mature. And then just over time trying new products and experimenting. I think it is so good and healthy for teens and tweens to get to experiment with makeup, because I think you learn your face and you get it out of your system and you figure out what works for you. Okay, so now we've got some questions on life. So Kiara wants to know my biggest purchase regret. It doesn't have to be beauty or fashion. So I've been thinking about that one a lot. And I think my biggest purchase regret was over the course of university and early in my professional career, subscription boxes that I didn't like. Because I'd always tell myself like, oh, it's a great value, it's a great savings, like this is a great value, it's so much cheaper. But like I'd look through the items and they'd be cool and they'd be nice to have in my collection, but they weren't things I would have bought like if they were just at a store. You know, I think to julep, and I did this huge nail polish declutter a couple of years ago, but I had so many julep nail polishes because every time they'd release like 12 every month, right? They would all be so pretty, and I wouldn't always get all of them, but like I would just be like, oh, I need that color, that's so pretty. But like, you know what guys, I'm gonna actually do a video of my favorite nude nail polishes, but I only wear nude nail polishes. I wear everything from taupe to pink. So I don't know why I needed all of those nail polishes. It was just a waste of money. Grace wants to know the best and the worst purchases that I've made. Okay, I'd say my best purchase, I'm gonna leave out practical things like a laptop or a camera. I think the best purchase I made is my Dyson hairdryer. So it was very expensive, but it is incredible. My husband and I both use it. Well, he uses it every day. I use it every other time I shower, I'd say. And it, like, it's just so soft and gentle on your hair, and it is so good. I'd say the other best purchases I've made have been travel. I don't regret any money I've ever spent taking a vacation. In terms of the worst purchases, so other than subscription boxes, I'd say this is before I had as many PR relationships as I do today. I think here's a called poufy, so I'm just gonna put it back. I would say it'd be Perfume, because there's only like 2 or 3 perfume profiles that I really wear, and so I have a lot of them that are quite similar. And then the other thing with the Perfume is that for the longest time, I don't really feel this way now, but for the longest time I kind of felt like Perfume was only for special occasions, so I wouldn't wear it because I'd want to save it. And like, those things are meant to be used and enjoyed, and if you're gonna buy it, like, use it. You can always replace it. Sonia wants to know my favorite food. I'd probably say either tacos or burgers. My favorite color, either blush or navy. Me and my mom are huge fans. Love from India. Oh, thank you guys. Love from Canada. Okay, Kira wants to know my first real paying job. So I'm going to take that question to mean my first job out of school. So my first job out of school, I was a legislative assistant to an elected official in my province, which meant that I wrote speeches, I interacted with constituents, and I like helped with her policy work, I helped with scheduling, I did a whole bunch of stuff like that. But my title was legislative assistant. Joe wants to know Tim Hortons or Starbucks. Starbucks. Tim Hortons has really gone downhill since they were last acquired by another company. Starbucks has the best food. I don't drink coffee, but I also like Starbucks tea better. And she also wants to know celebrity crush, favorite actress or actor. So I've never really been the celebrity crush person, but the last celebrity I had a crush on was named Nick Jonas. I think we're gonna do the ponytail. My hair's feeling really frizzy. Maybe I'll do like a side braid. Yeah, the last celebrity I had a crush on was Nick Jonas. In terms of favorite actor or actress, I mean, actually, I think Ryan Gosling is super cute. Okay. Favorite actor, actress. I've really been enjoying Kiernan Shipla. So she played Sally Draper on Mad Men, which is a show I love. And then also she plays Sabrina in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So I think she's a really talented actress and she's a lot of fun to watch. So Christina wants to know, where do I see myself in 5 years? So in 5 years, I'll be about 32. I think my husband and I will have 1 kid, maybe 2, but for sure 1. And we'll probably own a home. I see myself still working in the industry I'm working in now. I'd like to still be on YouTube, maybe, you know, producing a little bit more lifestyle content, but definitely still lots of beauty. I guess if I have a kid, I'll do some mom content. I don't really know. I really believe that my content can grow with me. And in the same way that my, you know, I think my subscribers grow and are interested in new content, I grow and I am interested in producing new content, and that's part of why I started including fashion and handbags. Shira's asking, what is keeping you positive? And I believe that's in response to COVID-19, but I'm going to answer it in relation to COVID-19. So what's keeping me positive during this awful time is just knowing how much I have to be thankful for. I thankfully haven't been that, I mean, we've all been impacted financially. I haven't been that financially impacted. My husband has been a little bit, but again, for us, not that bad, or not as bad as it could be. We still live in our home, and I'm still able to make videos for you guys. One of my grandmothers, my nan, she lives in a like a seniors retirement facility, and her home has not had an outbreak, and she is perfectly healthy and safe, and her home is taking things very seriously. So I'm thankful that my nan's not sick. My grandma lives with my parents, and again, my grandma's not sick. And so to me, it's just knowing that nobody close to me has gotten COVID-19. Nobody close to me has passed away from COVID-19. I have had friends and extended family lose further extended family, but nobody close to me, which I'm very, very thankful for. And so to me, if the worst thing that happens to me out of COVID-19 is we have a little bit less money and I've been stuck inside for 70 days, or like stuck distanced for 70 days, that's not that bad. So long as nobody close to me gets it or dies. I had one friend who was tested because she was concerned. Then what do I have to complain about? You know, I have so much to be thankful for. And I mean, the one bright side is I've had more time to make videos for you guys. So, you know, I'm just trying to make the most of it. And to just remember that there's so many people that have it so much worse. We got a couple of questions on travel. So Kira wants to know, my first trip when traveling is allowed. Well, I was supposed to go to Banff in June for a wedding in Calgary, and I was going to spend some time in Banff. And then I was also supposed to go to Italy in the summer. So I'm doing neither of those things. So the first trip, I wouldn't be surprised if the wedding's been rescheduled for next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if the first trip is either the wedding or we're rescheduling Italy for next year. Grace V wants to know, have I ever planned a trip that was only meant for shopping? And the answer to that is mostly no. The only yes to that is once a year, usually in the summer, my husband and I will go down to like Buffalo, and we will do some like outlet shopping, like go to Target and stuff. But I don't really think of it as a trip, because to me, like, a trip means like we've booked a plane or something. Like for us to drive to Buffalo is like 2 hours. We usually spend a night or two in like a Holiday Inn. Like, it's not a special trip, it's just a weekend. But I mean, that sounds so special now because we can't have that. And then Grace V also wants to know if I could only buy one brand of purses for the next 5 years. Well, if I had the budget for it, I would probably pick Chanel. There's so many Chanel pieces I want, or Hermes. There's so many pieces from there that'd be beautiful to have. But if I had to stick to the budget I actually have, I would probably pick either Yves Saint Laurent or Louis Vuitton, because there's still a lot of pieces I want from those brands, and those are at a little bit more at the price point that I can typically save for to afford. So that is my Q&A. If there's any more questions you guys have, leave them down below, and I'd be happy to do another one of these in a few months or something. If there's any topics that I was discussing that you guys would like maybe like a chatty get ready with me or something like that, let me know down in the comments below. I know this was a long video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, but thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all of your support. I love reading your comments. I love interacting with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Mwah.